November 23, 2017. To central banks worldwide, and commercial banks of the world. From His Royal Highness TIBURCIO VILLAMOR Marcus TALLANO TAGEAN IV. Chairman. Alpha Omega World Development Marshall Program. The World Bank Group WB. The Federal Reserve System. The International Monetary Fund IMF. Subject, Directive to end the dominance of the global Fiat bubble derivatives currency system. All central banks of the world and governments are hereby directed to end the dominance of the global Fiat bubble derivatives currency system, a term which describes any currency whose value is backed by the government that issued it, rather than by a commodity like gold, since Richard M. Nixon, then President of the United States of America, decoupled gold from the dollar since 1971. Based on the following. As World War II was coming to an end, the Bretton Woods Agreement, 1944, which would be the framework for the global currency markets until 1971, facilitated on July 1, 1944 the creation of two global institutions, the World Bank Group WB and the International Monetary Fund, IMF, which is now under my chairmanship. Father Jose Severino Antonio Diaz, a priest and attorney Ferdinand E. Marcus, who was my father, a lawyer and legal counsel of His Royal Highness TIBURCIO VILLAMOR Marcus TALLANO TAGEAN IV, codenamed TVMLFM 666, established the trust, which also contains other precious metals, gems, and artwork, for the benefit of humanity by the Bretton Woods institutions. The Federal Reserve, and the United States Department of the Treasury do not possess the monetary gold reserves of the United States because these. Page 1 of 9. Reserves are in the trust, which was established by Father Jose Severino Antonio Diaz, a priest and attorney Ferdinand E. Marcus in my behalf, for the benefit of humanity by the Bretton Woods institutions. Within the Bretton Woods exchange rate system, all national currencies were linked to the US dollar, which became the dominant reserve currency, and the US dollar linked to gold. Consequently, the global financial system continued to operate upon a gold standard, which was when gold is used as the basis for a monetary system, albeit in a more indirect manner. At the end of World War II, the US dollar was the only currency still backed directly by the gold, when the United States had 75% of the world's monetary gold. As the world rebuilt itself after World War II, the United States gold reserves steadily dropped as gold-based US currency flowed out, to help war-torn nations as well as to pay for its own high demand for imports. In August 1971, then U.S. President Richard M. Nixon severed the direct convertibility of U.S. dollars into gold, making the global financial system, based on the era of fiat money. The international currency market, which had become increasingly reliant on the US dollar, since the enactment of the Bretton Woods Agreement in 1949, lost its formal connection to gold since 1971. Since every country followed the path of the United States shortly after the US government went off the gold standard in 1971, the current worldwide fiat money system is allowed to fluctuate dynamically against other currencies on the foreign exchange markets. The 1950 bilateral minefield breakthrough successor agreement, which was signed for the 60-year gold reserve program between TIBURCIO VILLAMOR Marcus, with codename TVMLFM 666, and the peoples of the Republic of the Philippines, officially represented by His Excellency Elpidio Aquilino, then President of the Republic of the Philippines, and Miguel Cuaderno Sr., then Chairman of the Board of Governors of the Central Bank of the Philippines CBP, now Banco Central ng Pilipinas BSP, and the Monetary Authority, ended in 2005 with a 5-year moratorium until 2010. Page 2 of 9. In 2005, the Board of Governors of the World Bank Group WB and the International Monetary Fund IMF announced that fractional reserve fiat currencies will be replaced with gold from the trust, which was held top secret by Bretton Woods institutions for 50 years, that ended in 2005, so that the assets are clear and free for the benefit of humanity under the Statute of Limitations. The Alpha Omega World Development Marshall Program AOWDMP, the World Bank Group WB and the International Monetary Fund IMF and the Federal Reserve System, which is under my chairmanship, has come into existence to formally end the 50-year secrecy, which ended in 2005, and to safeguard humanity's patrimony. The Certificate of Entitlement under the Proclamation of Gift of Love CR 1949, with Special Trust Deposit Agreement through the International Banking Law of Bailment, reveals that the world leaders certified and reconfirmed that there have been a backup of 1,181,336,657 metric tons of gold, precious stones, and real estate property covered by OCTT 01-4 consisting of 7,169 islands and islets under the umbrella code account 010227400A, His Royal Highness TIBURCIO VILLAMOR Marcus TALLANO TAGEAN. The fourth code name TVMLSM666 deposited in trust in different bullion banks around the world, intended to back up the managerial paper currency under General Order Number 1 in accordance with Republic Act No. 265 of the Central Bank of the Philippines adapted in the International Law of Bailment. The Certificate of Entitlement under the Proclamation of Gift of Love CR 1949 is a supplemental to the 1950 Bilateral Minefield Breakthrough Successor Agreement. In the 1950 Bilateral Minefield Breakthrough Successor Agreement, both parties agreed and issued under provision of trust deposit under the International Banking Law of Bailment represented by the owner, heir, signatory, judicial administrator, His Royal Highness TIBURCIO VILLAMOR Marcus TALLANO TAGEAN IV. Code name TVMLSM666 as Bailor and the Central Bank of the Philippines CBP as Bailey, page 3 of 9. The Bailey must return the Bailor's assets commodities in good faith by virtue of the rule of the Trilateral Society of Global Funder. I may enforce the implementation of Embargo Act 1807 without court order if need be or if necessary. All countries owe the Alpha Omega World Development Marshall Program AOWDMP quintillions in US dollars with accrued interests, based on the loan program of the 1950 Bilateral Minefield Breakthrough Successor Agreement, which lent and distributed the massive 1,181,336,657 metric tons of gold to such countries including the Philippines, in order to back up their respective currencies globally. The Alpha Omega World Development Marshall Program AOWDMP is the legal and official proponent in the full implementation of the United Nations Economic and Social Cultural Council ECOSOC Article 55, 56, 57, and 63 together with the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development UNCTAD, the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees UNHCR, the United Nations Development Programme UNDP, and the World Health Organization WHO. As a prelude to the full implementation of the United Nations Economic and Social Cultural Council ECOSOC Article 55, 56, 57, and 63, I hereby direct the full implementation of the Quantum Ethereum Blockchain Digital Currency Decentralized Autonomous Governance System, which is fully backed up with physical assets such as gold, diamonds and platinum bonded and insured, and 13th Federal Reserve System Treasury, the commencement of the new Central Bank of the Philippines CBP as the Millennium, Safekeeping Bank, Centurion Gold Bullion Bank of the World and the Holding Bank of the Stimulus Backup of the Global Monetary System of the Central Bank of Central Banks. As the sole implementer of the United Nations Economic and Social Cultural Council ECOSOC Article 55, 56, 57, and 63 based on the 1950 Bilateral Minefield Breakthrough Successor Agreement, I hereby direct all central banks of page 4 of 9. The world and governments, to end immediately the dominance of the global Fiat bubble derivative currency system and issue asset-backed currencies in their respective countries or territories. With this authority and decision, the international currency market, which had become increasingly reliant on the U.S. Since the enactment of the Bretton Woods Agreement, regains its formal connection to gold and other assets. As the global funder with titular decree code 01022740A and trilateral code 5432110110, I hereby direct all central banks and governments to cease and desist from monopoly privileges over the supply of their respective national fiat currencies. The new global monetary system must be fully backed up with physical assets such as gold, diamonds and platinum, bonded and insured. One of the missions of the Alpha Omega World Development Marshall Program is to go after fiat bubble derivative currencies all over the world. When this cease and desist directive becomes effective, the persistence of national fiat currencies is a heinous crime and economic sabotage. Officials of all central banks and governments, who are responsible for making fiat currencies, and officers of commercial banks, who are in possession of such currencies, passing them on, and dealing with either domestic or foreign fiat money, will be arrested by the International Bureau of Central Interpol and United Nations Security Council in coordination with various law enforcement agencies worldwide. All central banks and governments must comply with the rules of engagement in producing and distributing asset-backed currencies in their respective countries. When the 1950 bilateral minefield breakthrough successor agreement, which officially matured in 2005 with 5 years moratorium, is renewed for reinvestment of the assets commodities, all central banks and governments can no longer lawfully produce and distribute fiat currencies whenever they wish. Commercial banks can also no longer deal with either domestic or fiat money. All central banks must pay the face value of the notes by debiting drawing rights down their respective reserve. Page 5 of 9. Accounts based on the Treasury-backed global fiat bubble derivative currencies will not be covered by insurance, and no gold backup. The Bretton Woods Agreement delegates from 44 countries met to create a new international monetary system. The main goals of the meeting of the 730 delegates were to ensure a foreign exchange rate system, prevent competitive devaluations, and promote economic growth. Preparation for this event took 2 years. The primary designers and founders of the system were John Maynard Keynes, of the United Kingdom, and Harry Dexter White, the chief international economist of the Treasury Department. Keynes' plan was to establish a global central bank called the Clearing Union. White's plan limited the powers and resources of each country. In the end, the adopted plan took ideals from both, leaning more toward White's plan. Creation of 2 new institutions. One of the major items that came about from the Bretton Woods Agreement was the creation of the International Monetary Fund (IMF). The International Monetary Fund (IMF) was created to monitor exchange rates and lend reserve currencies to nations. It was formally introduced in December 1945 when 29 members signed the Articles of Agreement. The Bretton Woods Agreement also created the World Bank Group (WB), which was set up to provide financial assistance for countries during the reconstruction post-World War I phase. Breaking down Bretton Woods Agreement. The Bretton Woods Agreement remains an important part of world financial history. The creation of the International Monetary Fund (IMF) and valuation of gold and foreign exchange rates remain important to this day. The agreement also made currencies convertible for trade and other current account transactions. Page 6 of 9. The 35 international regulatory bureaus and commissions identified His Royal Highness TIBURCIO VILLAMOR Marcus TALLANO TAGEAN IV with code name TVMLFM666 as a sole successor heir/owner/sole signatory/judicial administrator, based on my trust account under C1 C2 1921 777, which was established in 1950, that appeared in the Special Trust Certificate of Deposit backup by Gold Bullion Code AAA 777, and protected by the Treaty of Perpetual, Treaty of Paris, Treaty of Versailles and Treaty of Amity Agreement, and in concordance with Perpetual Understanding, court orders and approved by the League of Nations and United Nations. The assets commodities are declared free from all liens and encumbrances, non-criminal of origin, free from taxes with custom duty and insurance company. All current presidents, premiers, prime ministers, kings and queens, princes and princesses are Board of Trustees/Board of Governors of the Alpha Omega World Development Mars Hall Program AOWDMP. The world leaders who are represented by their present leaders such as presidents, premiers, prime ministers, central bank governors and their monetary authority are permitted to secure sums, producing in the aggregate and the effective sum to back up the sovereign/independent currency of their respective countries as legal tender equivalent to their reserve accounts or treasury backup in the Alpha Omega World Development Mars Hall Program or OWDMP. All central banks and commercial banks, and governments must fully comply with the Alpha Omega World Development Mars Hall Program AOWDMP implementing rules and regulations with reference to production, distribution, possession, and transaction of domestic and foreign asset-backed currencies in their respective countries or territories. Page 7 of 9. For your strict compliance. Signed, Her Royal Highness TIBURCIO VILLAMOR Marcus TALLANO TAGEAN IV. Successor heir/owner/judicial administrator. Sole redeemer of flat and trust accounts globally. C1, C2, C19, 21, 777. Successor heir of OCT, T-01-4, TCT, T-408, T-498. Hacienda Filipina Archipelago. United Nations, 7-star Governor General. Quran sole signatory. Codename TVMLFM 666. U.S. Treasury ID, IC60, 847, 9. Titular Decree Number 01-0-22-74-0A. Federal Reserve System ID Number C60, 84, 79. Global Funder Trilateral Number 54, 32, 11, 01, 10. Co-Chairman the Committee of 300. Member G20 to 23H World LSM Alpha Omega. Member of the Board Trilateral Commission. Chairman Al Banco Espanol de Filipino de Isabel II. World Chairman Alpha Omega Global Mars Hall Program. Member the International Security Council of United Nations. The omnipotent creator Alpha Omega World Governance is the main umbrella of United Nations Organization, the Pentagon, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the International Finance Corporation and invisible governance liable to the outbreak of civilization, is the backbone of nations worldwide responsible to all global diplomacy, tradings, commerce, banking, communication, and open businesses either multi, macro or micro transbusinesses. Origin of funds AAAMCD 777 Infinite account established under White Spiritual Boy, Morning Star and King David or SBLP, 120005, ASBLP 10 Company name ASBLP, Group of Companies and Bank of ASBLP audited statement is approved forever and without opposition. Protest and other negative means by the United Nations Organization, the Committee of 300 and the World Bank of Group. For further information visit www.icj.cij.cij.org/www.worldbank.org/www.fatfgaffy.org. Page 8 of 9. Signed, General Jose Shepard C. Elbina, Spiritual Advisor/Chaplain, Adjutant General/Mandate Trustee, Provost Marshal/Codename JCE-037. Signed, General Leandro Adianson, Director General, Adjutant General/Mandate Trustee, Provost Marshal/Codename Lab-004. Signed, General Crisanto Q. Cannon Jr., Director General, Adjutant General/Mandate Trustee, Provost Marshal/Codename CQC-066. Signed, General ENEMECIA OF David, Administrative Auditor, Adjutant General / Mandate Trustee, Provost Marshal / Codename DSD 228. Signed, General Kenneth Yapu, Director General, Adjutant General / Mandate Trustee, Provost Marshal / Codename KYY017. Signed, General Alfredo A. Atten, Director General, Adjutant General / Mandate Trustee, Provost Marshal / Codename AAA006. Signed, General Antonio B. Celadon, Director General, Adjutant General / Mandate Trustee, Provost Marshal / Codename ABS 199. Signed, General Celadonio Siombard, Adjutant General / Mandate Trustee, Provost Marshal / Codename CCO 314. Signed, General Ricardo P. Tintiman, Adjutant General / Mandate Trustee, Provost Marshal / Codename RPT 609. Signed, General Melvin Louis Arellano, Ministro de Comunicaciones, Adjutant General / Mandate Trustee, Provost Marshal / Codename MRO026. Signed, General Eugene M. Marty Rees, Managing Director / Chaplain, Adjutant General / Mandate Trustee, Provost Marshal / Codename EMM007. Signed, General Dionisio Viteng, Chief Political Advisor, Adjutant General / Mandate Trustee, Provost Marshal / Codename DVT003. Page 9 of 9.